Hello, I am with Seed System Solutions, and in this video, I'm going to discuss a bit about entering payments, payments for financing companies, and how to adjust discounts based on those payment types. If you're not able to view the menu or tab options that I reference in this video, please contact your admin user within your organization. So we are often asked about entering JDF or some other sort of financing company payments. And I wanted to touch base on that a little bit. And to start, I'm going to discuss a little bit about early payment discounts. So most of our clients do have early payment discounts, and those discounts are set up in menu, system settings, under our discount tab. And when you're looking at our discount, when you're creating your order, or when you're setting up your discounts, you're going to set them up per price type. You're going to set them up for either your early payment or cash discounts or your class. And then for early payment, we're going to look out this early payment structure. On the booking level itself, this early payment structure is tied to your booking type. Your booking types can be set up under your advanced settings, or if you just select this booking type option here, you can see what your booking types that you have are, and you can create new by clicking in this box and just typing in your new discount name or your new booking type name. So you can see I do have a couple options already set up, such as cash or JDF. You could do something such as financed, or you can set up ones that are relating to your classes, such as corn or soybeans. Now, again, these booking types are not related to the actual physical products on the booking, but are going to classify this booking for what type of cash discount structure this booking is going to qualify for. Then when setting up your discounts, you're going to enter the date at which the early payment is going to go into effect. So for example, if the customer is going to pay by September 30th, then they are going to receive 8%. And then because we're using our general ledger, we are going to set our accounts for our financials that this discount is going to tie to. Something new we do have is you can link these early discounts as well to your payment type, such as if you wanted it to receive a different discount for if they pay by JDF or versus cash. And so we have a couple options with that. One, you can set up linking to the payment type, or you can set up different cash discount or booking type structures, which is typically what we recommend, is setting up the different structures based on and the whole booking itself receiving that discount based on linking it to the individual payment type. And so within here, we're going to go, for example, we have our cash structure and our discounts that they're going to be eligible for. Now, we do want a different structure for our JDF financing. And so I created a new booking type that was called JDF. And then I set up a different structure. So if they pay by September 30th, they're only going to receive 4%. So typically what we see is when these structures are set up, that the discount or that the fee that you are paying for JDF is taken out of what the amount is of discount that they're going to receive, such as here we have a 4% difference between what our normal cash discount would receive as of September 30th with 8%, and then on JDF, we are only giving them 4% as of that date. And when we're entering in our booking itself, we're going to qualify that booking for that structure based on this booking type that is set. And so on this particular example booking, we have currently our cash discount. And you can see if they pay before the September 30th, they're going to receive 8%, and their final total that they are going to need to send you in is $37,348.32. And now if we change that to JDF, It's going to think here a moment while it recalculates, and then we can see that that payment option changed to the 4% and how much they're going to need to send it. Now, because this discount doesn't actually qualify yet, they do, when we enter in the payment, we're going to set up that structure on the payment as well. So we can see what the estimation the payment is going to receive based on how much they sent in. And to do that, we're going to go to the customer page on the customer detail, and we're going to create a new payment for them. And we can do that from the Invoice and Pay tab. And we're going to click the plus next to invoices, and we're going to click our payment. And within this payment, then, we're going to assign, if there was a check number, what that check number was, and our payment type. And so because we're going to link this to our JDF, I'm going to continue using JDF as our example. So this payment type is a check from JDF. And we do have some new options here that you can fill out a little bit of information about the finance program itself. So you can see what the company or who the company is, if there's a program name that you're assigning to it, if there's an invoice number or authorization number or account number for that financing company. Any of that information can be assigned here, as well as you have a second place you can enter in that financing program fee that you're being charged. Now, your check amount when it comes to financing is going to be the amount that you're going to receive from the finance company that will be applied towards this client's account. So if they ask to be financed for $10,000, $10,000 is what you're going to enter in the check amount because that's how much this client is going to be given to use. Now, this likely is not going to be the actual amount of the check that you receive because the fee is going to be associated with that. And to equate for that fee, you would enter that financing fee over here in under financing fee. This can also be credit card fees if you have an amount of a credit card fee that you're being charged up front. So within that financing fee, you can enter it here. And now what that will do is on your deposit for this check, instead of displaying the $10,000 on the deposit, it's going to display the $10,000 minus the financing fee. So in this case, it would display $9,000 on the deposit to deposit for this payment. However, this customer is still then going to have $10,000 available to apply against their orders. Now we can see this isn't displaying an estimated early payment percent. And to do that, we need to assign this payment type or that booking payment type. And once I assign a JDF here, we can see that this amount changed to 4%. There is also an override early payment date. And that date is if the customer's actual payment date falls outside of the period of discount that you want to give them, you can change this override date into the date of the period that you want to give them. So for example, I changed this back to August 1st, which was eligible for 5% discount. And now you can see it's estimating that it's going to receive 5%, which would equate to $526.32 of discount on a booking. Now again, we are displaying the estimated in relation to this payment because we don't actually calculate the final discount until this payment is applied to an invoice after the customer receives seed. And what the payment will actually end up receiving is based on what you apply it against. So if you apply this this payment against a booking that qualified for cash discount, it's actually going to calculate that cash discount amount as opposed to this JDF amount. So what you end up applying your payment to can matter as to what the discount calculates as. But at this point in time, based on what we are assuming this customer is going to apply or we're going to apply against for this customer, it's a JDF payment, we're going to apply it against an invoice from a JDF booking. And at that point, then it would calculate that 5% to equate for $526.32 in discount amount when calculated from the booking. Some further things to note on a payment itself. You can change your available accounts or what account everything is deposited to, as well as your department this payment is associated with. You can log some internal notes or some printable notes that would print out. You have two ways of applying payments. Now, this payment is for the next booking season. But as you can see for this particular client, we do have some bookings that, or some invoices from past years that are still open. Now, this is your best business practice. Typically, we don't recommend having payments for a new season while leaving open balances in old seasons. What we would recommend is carrying that balance forward for the customer into the current season. And I can show you that in another video. However, in this particular instance, because we do have this open payments, but this is from a different year, I am going to leave this payment open. We could apply it to either a specific invoice level, or we can apply it to an invoice, but calculating the individual booking within that invoice that it is assigned to. So because you can ship multiple bookings on one invoice, sometimes those bookings themselves do have different discount structures. In this case, we don't have a customer or a different structure, but you can see on invoice 1199 there it is made up of two different bookings. These do have the possibility for being for different growers or for different booking types. And so from the by booking tab, you can cherry pick a little more how you want to nuance apply this payment down. Instead of at the invoice level, it's going to apply based on the first booking that is open with a balance on that invoice and kind of apply down from there. So you don't get as much control with applying from the by invoice as you do from the by booking. Once the payment is applied itself, you can override your early percentage calculation if you need to. Our calculation didn't apply out any cash discount because we didn't have it set up within the last year. This is outside of any early payment discounts for 2025. But if we needed to apply a percentage, we can do that by entering in decimal format the percent that you wanted to calculate, and then it will recalculate your dollars that is going to be applied, as well as your overall payment. To unapply a payment, you would just unclick the X, and then that is going to remove that application. Now, again, the year is red here because the year on the payment does not match the year of the invoice. And we do not typically recommend cross-applying the years because that is going to affect your by year totals that you can see at the top, as well as if you run statements by year or run your AR reports based on the year totals will offset each other and not line up to what you think they might be if you cross-apply years. Some reports that you can use to view your totals for your booking season versus your payments. Our first report I'm going to show you is under customer and receivables and is the customer booking and payment report. And we have a couple versions of this report, but the one I'm going to show you here is actually the one that shows this estimated early payment percentage. And I'm going to just look for our booking season of 2026 currently. And within that, we can see we have our overall booking total. We have our credits that were entered, our estimated early payment discount, and because of that, we can see our overall percent paid for this customer. So how much they are paid, including that early payment discount. Now, if we look at the one without the estimated early pay, it's not going to calculate a early pay percentage until you are actually applying it against invoices. So this report is meant to be used during the season. And with that estimated early pay, you can see how much that client really has left to pay with including that estimated discount into the calculations. To view your payments to financing companies, we do have a new report as well under customers. That's the finance program report. And within this report, it would break down, this is where you can see if you had entered any of those financing companies, the program, any account number, authorization numbers. So you can start to log or view those payments that are for your financing companies and just gather a little bit more detail about those payments that you haven't entered. If you have any questions about Seed System Solution, please reference our other training videos, email us at grow@seedsystem.co, or register for one of our free monthly Seed System Support Zoom meetings.